Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Franco and I would first like to say a huge thank you to all of you for showing up. We know it's a super busy time of the semester with exams and assignments, but we really appreciate you sparing some time to come here for this panel discussion. So we have a very important guest today that couldn't show up because unfortunately she had a conference to attend in Shanghai. Our CEO, Ms. Judy Ho. So she recorded a message for us.
Hello, welcome to Glion Institute of Higher Education. I'm Judy Ho, the CEO of GIHE. And it's a pleasure that I'm able to speak with you today about the HeForShe movement. Now, HeForShe is an initiative that our Student Governing Association here at Glion has started. It's a student-led initiative and part of the United Nations effort in recognizing gender equality and promoting gender equality. We as an institution, educational institution, have a larger responsibility to educate our young adults at an early stage about gender equality. And this is a great movement because, again, it's a student-led initiative, and also it's from a perspective where men plays an equally large part in supporting this gender equality as women. Thank you. And first of all, thank you, Shirley and Franco, for inviting me and allowing me to have this opportunity to speak with you, even though I'm not physically present, which I apologize because I have to be in another place for another conference speaker engagement in Shanghai. So the importance about this conference and initiative is that the UN Women basically started a new initiative called Impact 10 by 10 by 10. And what that is 10 universities, 10 government institutions, and 10 companies. By bringing educations, government, and business together, really promoting gender equality. I think on a more personal level, I truly am committed and passionate about promoting gender equality. I think reflecting back in many incidences in my careers where maybe been skipping over a promotion because I was expecting, and that sometimes is not always a good feeling for female aspiring leaders. And I think with this is important that we demonstrate to our students as well as our colleagues that it's important that we consider gender equality and that men plays just as an important role in promoting the gender equality as women would have. So we have a wonderful conference panelist lineup and a keynote speaker, and Franco and Shirley will certainly introduce them to you shortly. But I think before I leave, I really want to let everyone know that this has been an interesting and exciting opportunity for the Glion Institute of Higher Education to be part of this because when I was approached by Franco, he told me his vision as a student coming from Latin America. We're all privileged to be here, where we have the opportunity to receive a wonderful education, and it's such a great environment that we sometimes are removed from the reality of the world. And as an international and diverse institution with more than 97 nationalities present on campus, we have a global student body with global perspective where they really can make an impact. It's not just a small drop of water in the ocean. Together, collectively, we can make waves, and that ripple effect can really make the change. And I believe that our students are the catalyst of that change, and it really fits with our school's vision and mission to prepare leaders for the future global business. And I believe that this conference, as a student-led initiative, will really make an impact, and it will be one of many more conferences to come. So enjoy the conference. I wish you all well, and thank you for, again, championing for gender equality.
So even though Ms. Judy Ho couldn't make it here, she did a great introduction to the campaign that we started here. So just a little introduction, a little bit about myself. My name is Shirley Ko, and I'm an MBA 2 student. I was born and raised in Hong Kong, but I studied in Vancouver for a while, so I've had a very multicultural understanding growing up. So gender equality is always something that I read about, I spoke about it, I wrote about it, and it's something that I promoted in my own life, in my personal life, but I would never call myself a hardcore gender equality supporter or anything. So when Franco came to me and suggested launching the campaign in Glion, I had to chew on the idea for a while because I, in my own opinion, didn't really fit the feminist stereotype. So even with all my cynicisms, I started it with great enthusiasm, and we received such overwhelming support, and it's been really great. But I think the biggest part, and what I've learned the most here, isn't that we've seen a lot of support. It's really that, surprisingly, even in Glion, such a multicultural, so diverse, with so many opportunities, that there are some naysayers coming up to us and asking us, why are you doing this? And we had multiple events throughout the semester, and people coming up and asking us, are you still doing this gender equality campaign? So initially I was kind of taken aback, but it made me realize and reaffirm my belief in this movement. And it validated the necessity for such a campaign, even within such a multicultural and such a diverse community in Glion. So it has been really rewarding, and it has taught me a lot. It has taught me to hope that among all the student support that we are definitely in the midst of change, but also to sharpen my conviction against the naysayers. And here we are with the first panel discussion that Franco and I have ever organized, which I have to say has been quite nerve-wracking, but it has been definitely an experience, and I'm graduating this semester, so I'll take this with me for the rest of my life. And I don't know about you, but I'm super excited to hear what the panelists have to say today. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Franco. I'm from Panama. We're just a little bored before introducing our first keynote speaker. I read a phrase last week. The phrase it said, let me just repeat, sorry. We are the generation that is either going to end with the earth or change everything. Now, this is quite an extreme phrase, I know, but I mean, if we look at the facts that are going on nowadays, it might be true that our generation has the power to change our situation. And also there is a common belief that our generation, young people, we're apathetic, shallow, and materialistic. I don't believe this, and the fact that you're here proves it that this is not correct. And I would also like to share a phrase with you that was said by Bill Gates during his commencement speech in 2007 to Harvard. He said, for those whom much is given, much is expected. Now we, as a younger generation, we have so much power, we have so many resources, and it is so much is expected from us. And now during his speech, he exhorted all graduates to take an initiative, to take an issue and become a specialist about it, just to do something. And this is what I would like to exhort you as well, to take one issue, whatever it is, gender equality, climate change, anything. Just whatever the effort, just one small effort, it does make a difference. And I also want to share another phrase with you. It might seem sometimes that our efforts are just one drop in an endless ocean, but always remember that an ocean is a collection of drops. So now I would like to pass the word to our first keynote speaker, Ms. Kristin Engvig. She's the founder of the WIN Conference, Women International Networking. So a round of applause.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, and thanks for the invitation. I'm very excited about this being a leadership training, and one of the biggest challenges and one of the biggest, most important issues over time, it's, as he mentioned, the climate change and so on and so forth. It is also gender equality. It's the challenge and an opportunity of how to give equal possibilities for everyone so that we can create a world that works for all. And it's important as leaders that you go out with that awareness. And I recall very well when I grew up in Norway and I was a student, that actually as a student I felt life was pretty equal. It wasn't such a challenge. We worked in teams, we worked in groups, and then after a few years in the workplace, did I suddenly realize that there was a bigger difference than I thought when I was as a student. So for those of you that are cynical and think, wow, life is great, I don't see any issue, which is a very common thought, especially being a student, there is still an issue out there. And more and more men are realizing that, and more women too, because in many countries the situation hasn't been that bad, so that it's not enough to really pinpoint on it and say, wow, it's discrimination. But there is small little things, and I think that in some of our more developed countries there are small differences, but in other countries there's huge differences. And it's such untapped potential, and it's all about great possibilities. I just came back from Japan, where we had a big conference, and they had very interesting statistics. In Japan, you have the world's best educated people. Anyone from Japan here? No. Anyway, best educated women on planet Earth, but at least, probably amongst the least women working in the workplace. And so we were looking at what is going on, why, you know. So there are many opportunities, because it's a country that needs more people to work, but have avoided the women, have enormous work-life balance differences. So all the men are working until 11 at night, and the women are not working. But this is a possibility for the men too. A lot of men don't want to be in the office all the time. So we see this is a possibility that, okay, if we both work a little bit, perhaps both can also have more time to do other things. No, I may be biased, that's very well the Scandinavian model where I grew up, but I think it's also a model that can work. Now, I'm going to talk to you today a little bit why we are looking at gender equality, what men can do, and why we need to look at this, and what are all the possibilities and opportunities, and how we can go ahead. And I'd like to start with a little video that shows a little bit what I've been working with the past 20 years, because I have been working on women's leadership issues, try to bring in as many men as possible, but still it's mostly women. And in this video and in the way of this presentation today, I'm quite speaking in a way, and you will see the conference, that is in a very paradigm of the feminine. And this is something that I'll ask all of you men to look at. Sometimes, you know, we are doing a campaign for HeForShe. And we want to be the men, you want to be the men that speak up for women, right? Right, exactly. And also, yeah, you and you and you. And you want to understand also, what is it that is a way that what could be a different way of working? Yeah? What is a more feminine way? Because maybe you think that she wants to do the work the same way as you do, but maybe it's not that way. Maybe there is another way. Just like she needs to let her men help at home, and maybe he won't change the clothes on the kids the same way as she does it. But she also shouldn't say, you need to do it this way. We need to let us do things in whatever different way. So, but before that, a little bit, can we see the video? And, I mean, this is interesting. You also do hotel management and conferences, so, you know, this is conferences.
Really, it's all about connecting. Connecting is really networking. That's what networking is all about, and it's also about how we connect. And we connect with passion, with pleasure, with joy. Companies join with their best leaders and entrepreneurs, as well as academics, consultants, and artists are all part of it.
the WIN conference for a lot of women is a place where they can be seen. They can be seen, they can be understood, they can be with like minds. There's no need to explain yourself.
The energy, the love, the beauty, the discovery.
What I also think is fantastic about WIN is that we come together, or women come together every single year, and we remember who we are, but also what we are yet to become.
So it's exciting.
My contribution is in creating and connecting people, putting them together.
I think WIN is very much a place about empowerment, awareness, engagement, global engagement, and networking.
More and more people coming back because they've met people with shiny eyes saying, have you been to WIN? No. Haven't you? No. Then you should go.
Every single time something amazing happens.
Now, for all of you that are new in this room, this is not the usual business conference.
Here you get information, facts, examples, best practice combined with emotion. And that makes it stick much deeper because it enters my heart and not only my brain.
It's one of the few conferences that combine, if you like, the spiritual side of things, the feminine side of things, with the hardcore business. I've not been to any other conference that opens with music in that kind of way.
WIN, since the beginning, had the ability to put together what the company wants, the multinational wants, and what women want, and we try to match them.
The big difference, because I go often in other conferences, this conference is unique.
We're talking something definitely big, definitely big. I mean, they come from all over the world now. And some come, they don't even know why they're coming. They just spoke to somebody whom they trust and believe in, who said, you have to go to WIN. And then we go to WIN.
She could have sold out, she could have grown bigger, she could have done different things, and I think what's actually very nice is she's stayed quite loyal to the original vision, and it still nourishes women every year they come.
I see that they changed my life, and I am sure that they changed the lives of other women.
At WIN, we develop leadership and we empower each other to run business with purpose and also to create careers that matter. If we are to evolve, we need each other. I feel that we can only grow in the meeting with others. I can probably only see myself in the mirror of the other, and that's why I like so much the fact that at WIN we meet for 3 days physically and stay together.
And it is very, very important. You know, we may be so different and we look at each other and we don't like, but it's the only way for us actually to grow, to resolve this. You know. So that's something to bear in mind. That if you are to grow, we need each other. And that is one of the philosophies of WIN. And I want to share that that out there it's not only about men and women. We are also living in a time where things are changing from more hierarchical organizations to more network-based organizations. So we can say that some of the ways that we can call it feminine, but yeah, maybe we can also find another name, integral if you like, so we don't take it as a women's thing. Then it is really very much about communication, collaboration, creating networks. And the more we can call it old way of very hierarchical, where someone is dominating on top, dominating the other, this is a little more disappearing now. And it's at the same time this is happening, we see more women going into the workplace, more women being empowered in communities and societies. So it's an interesting parallel. So the men and the women who have been used to very hierarchical ways of being need to learn this new way, because it's an important way. So also men need to learn that, and women need to learn that. And depending on where you come from, because I see this is such a fantastic room with people from different countries, there will be different challenges, and there will be places in the world where it don't seem so necessary. But I tell you, everywhere now, there is a lot of change going on. So this campaign that the UN has, UN Women has, it's a symptom of our time. It's an expression of our time. Like, I get all these people at the conference now, and this is one conference. There are other conferences all over the world. So there is a thing going on now. So whether you want it or not, it's gonna happen. So we want to be part of it. I have a presentation. Maybe I can use some of that. But one of the things it would be interesting to hear for you. So what does the he for she means for you? I just want to hear in the room if anyone would like to talk about what does that mean.
I have 3 Japanese girls that just came in.
They came in. I just talked about Japan. I don't know if you
How's that?
She's Korean. Yes, from Korea. But the statistics are very similar.
Yes, maybe you should repeat what you said because they weren't here.
You weren't. I was just talking about the fact that I was just in Japan, and we had a big conference in Japan, and we were so impressed by the beauty and the respect, and also equally shocked by how few women are active in work life. So.
Yeah, I think it's gradually getting better and better, but the right for the women.
Yeah.
Well, still you can see the constantly culture there. So if you go for the, let's say the business environment, women is much weaker than men. Still. So you see there is imbalance between men and women still. But even though the Japanese culture is trying to be more international, but still you see some imbalance.
What would he for she mean for you in Japan?
He for she, well, I'm being honest, I'm not quite really knowledgeable about the he for she now, but this is the reason why I'm here, to learn what it is. But he for she is some like active movement, so that the people can be more aware of the women's rights. I don't know if I'm not
But what could it be for you in an ideal situation? Let's say you go back to Japan tomorrow and you work there, and if a Japanese man can support the women in Japan, what would he ideally do? He for she.
Ah. Yeah, it's quite difficult though.
Yes.
But I think it's good opportunity to get a knowledge of the human life in Japan.
Yeah.
Because currently, unfortunately, they don't not really. Even though they try to have a positive movement, so it's kind of like delayed opportunity to do traditional way.
Yeah. So just to get the knowledge of the situation of the women.
I mean like
break,
and then open to
new way.
Yeah, new way. And then hopefully when asking people back, we can give them more powers.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to share? What could HeForShe make?
Many people. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Kristin, for this strong introduction. I compare it to something that happened to me when I lived in Switzerland in German part, and then had to go and learn French in French part. And there was a boss in a company that was supporting, it was not HeForShe, but it was French speaker for German speaker. And he employed me in an apprenticeship in auditing company. I was horrible team worker because I had no knowledge of French. I couldn't be active from day one, help people. So colleagues didn't like that. But the hierarchy decided so. And after 6 months, I mastered French. But of course, they had to pay price. I got my internship salary, which was low, but it was still something. And I got to learn French, but they suffered because they had one person kind of there, but nothing really to do.
But maybe in the long run, and this is the thing, maybe there is a transitionary time. Like now you have women on corporate boards. Lots of in Norway now it's 40%. A lot of people are against it. It's a law, you know. Oh, why we may not get the best women, you know? And the women are also against it because, oh, I'm selected because it's a quota. And maybe I'm not selected because I'm best. I'm totally for it, by the way, but for a period of time. Because we need to get the experience too, and it could be the first half a year you are not the best. But what if after those 6 months you are really good? You know, then it's not a wasted 6 months. It could be, yeah. What could HeForShe be for you?
I think the most important aspect for me, it's not just another feminist campaign just to say something. And I really like that it's not something that is legally enforced, as just said, and I think that it shouldn't be legally enforced. What the importance for me is that it's a movement that promotes equality, and it promotes the thinking of not choosing people based on quotas or based on the PR necessities, but rather it's getting into the thinking of avoiding gender as a qualifying factor and choosing only based on qualifications, experience, and what the person can bring to the job.
I think we can finally say the truth and say that we're good enough and that we can do it as well. And it's not because of the gender, it's because some people didn't want women to work. It's because they can work, that's why they didn't want us to work. So now we can ask for help and ask men for help. That's very important.
We have one more man and one woman. What? I think, oh. Okay. Oh, that's what I have.
I think that that's a really interesting question because HeForShe already implies that males are making this move, and I know that's what it's about, but HeForShe to me says, oh, men are giving the opportunity for women to become equal, and for me that's not a stance that I'm willing to accept. I think, especially in our age today, women need to empower themselves, and we shouldn't necessarily look to men to allow that. We should take it a step ourselves. So I'm not saying it should be HeForShe, but I'm saying there should be probably more of an emphasis on women paving their own way in society. And I think that's hugely important because even if I'm really lucky where I'm from England, the accent might give it away. But we still very much live in the city, especially in London, it's very much a man's world. Now, how are you meant to break into that man's world? And if men, yes, essentially it's men letting you in, but I think what we should see now, and we hope for progression and development in future years to come, is something more invoked with women leading the way instead of men letting us in, which might be a controversial view.
Oh, it's very exciting to hear. I'm sure all of you have lots of things, so maybe afterwards we can have a chance to share more in groups or over the cocktail or whatever. But it's very exciting to hear what this can mean. And in the world, we talk a lot about it, and you sure probably heard it. It's glass ceilings And I think there could be really helpful to get some help to break through glass ceilings. Have you heard the expression glass ceiling?
Yeah.
But there is another expression called sticky floor. Sticky floor, you know it? And that's where maybe you have to empower yourself. And that happens to men too. I mean, it's sticky floor and glass ceilings. And the sticky floor, it means you need to do a little bit of action yourself. Let's see if there is, do I have to stick to it?